Hello everyone, and hey, welcome to Bahrain. So this is the first episode in the series, and yes, this is me on my way through Manchester Airport looking very nervous as I start the adventure. So yeah, Bahrain flew from Manchester to Manama, stopping in Istanbul. 2 4-hour flights, which was decent enough, and this is the furthest I've ever been. Turkey was the furthest, but yeah, I broke that record in the first flight. So yeah, arriving at the airport and going from the airport to the hotel was easy enough. Ubers in the city, so just grab an Uber from the airport to the hotel. And then it was straight off to testing, as you can see. You can see on the screen as well is the prices I paid for the week. So not bad prices considering it was 10 nights as well, because I went to the testing, which was included in the 3-day ticket. So as you watch this, I'll just go over some of the points over the weekend, and yes, and just some helpful tips and advice if you are going or ever do go to the Sakhir International Circuit. So yeah, so over 3 days, getting to and from the circuit is, well, it's quite tricky, as Manama and the circuit are on the opposite sides of the island. But what the circuit does is put on three free buses to and from the circuit from specific hotels in the city centre. Now, those coaches are free for ticket holders, so if you've got a 3-day ticket or even a 1-day ticket, you'll be able to get on that bus, and you don't need to stay at the hotel either. To be fair, I was not required to show my ticket. Nobody asked. It was just a case of turn up in your F1 gear, and obviously they know that you're going to the track. So yeah, testing was a lot of fun. Yeah, nice to see the cars up and close straight away in the main grandstand. It is a long day, and you get to see a lot of running, and you are constricted to the main grandstand, but you can see the main pits all the way, all day. So that was good. The only downside was that they didn't put the testing live on the screens, but I downloaded the F1 app and paid for the subscription, 20 quid for a year, and I was able to follow it on that. So yeah, Sakhir is a very nice track. I was very surprised actually how well organised it was. The circuit is quite compact in terms of where the grandstands are. The main grandstand and turn 1 and the last corner are pretty much where you can sit, and there is a grandstand behind the paddock, but again, it is all constricted to one area, so you don't need to get your walking boots on, basically. Getting into the track was good as well. They have airport security scanners, which yeah, you just pop your bag on, and you don't need to take anything out. Just pop it on, phone out, wallet out, into a tray, and you're through. There's no really restrictions that we came across. We had a bag. I had a bag that was 12 litres in volume, which is quite a small rucksack, and you are allowed to take bottles of water in and snacks. So yeah, there was no major restrictions to get into the track, which was always a plus. So yeah, as you can see on the pit lane walk now, again, free for anybody with a 3-day ticket. It's not always the case through the year, as you'll find out, but again, hats off to the circuit for allowing access to 3-day ticket holders, which it should be. It shouldn't be an extra money or an extra ticket to get in. That should be part of the experience. So yes, and the fan zone. The fan zone was very neatly laid out. As I said, there's plenty of space between the main stage of where the drivers do the interviews and where the bands play at the end of the night. And the fan zone is situated towards the towards the last corner of the main straight. You've got your usual F1 sims, your pit stop challenge, and other activations, including the selfie cam as well, which through the year I never used because I didn't see the point. But yes, it's very obviously very nice to have something to keep the fans entertained. Although there was a bumper amount of activity on track, as you can see, the F2 and F3 cars. And that is probably the best seat in the house as well, in the University Grandstand and the exit at turn 3. I highly recommend that. My seat was in turn 1, which was a very good view, don't get me wrong. But the view of in the University Grandstand is the same, pretty much. You see turn 1, 2 and 3, but you have the added bonus of the inside of the track 8, 9 and 10. This was also the first time I'd seen the track and the cars under lights at testing and obviously in practice. And you can really appreciate, they really do, I know it's a cliche, but they really do come alive, especially when you see the sparks from the skid block underneath. It was quite the experience, and obviously was a sign of good things to come. Yes, the facilities and the food were good as well. Plenty of options from pizza, pastas, and your usual burgers, fries, and also some local cuisine as well. And yes, so it was well organised. Queuing system was good. You order, then queue for your pickup. So yes, not a problem at all. Overall, the actual Bahrain experience at track was brilliant. I couldn't fault it one little bit. The only one problem was you were not allowed bottles in the grandstand if you had it held in your hand, which is a bit strange. So when you go in, put your bottle in your bag, and they won't search your bag when you go into the grandstand, and you'll be able to keep the bottle with you. I did have to empty the bottle into 2 cups, put my bottle in my bag, and carry the 2 cups of water in my hand, which was just stupid. But there you go. Definitely not the worst throughout the year for security measures. They come later on in the year. Yeah, grandstand. You get, like I said, turn 1 was very good. So a lot of the action, and for the price, just over £200, absolutely unbelievable. But like I said, the grandstand at turn 3, the exit turn 3 is definitely one to consider if you are going to the track. And here's the entertainment at the main stage, huge, massive stage in the fan zone, and yes, plenty of space to watch, and also plenty of shade during the day because it is definitely required. Moving away from the F1, as you see some very unusually dressed, stilted people, is Manama itself, which was again extraordinary. You hear a lot about the Middle Eastern countries, about them being unsafe or very conservative, but Bahrain and Manama in general was very, I don't want to say westernized, but very open is what I'd say. Drinking was allowed, nights out were allowed. You've probably seen some pictures that I've just come across the screen. And nights out were very good, must admit. A couple of Irish bars as well, and it was a lot of fun and a privilege to be a part of. The fan zone during the week running up to the race is also in the city centre, in block 336, I believe it is. And that's extremely well laid out. You've got loads of activations around and entertainment in the streets of the block, and it's very safe and very well managed. So that's another plus as well. Some non F1 activities I did in Bahrain is in the city centre. The Bahrain Museum is very interesting to find out about the history of the quite young nation. You got the souks as well, with all the old style shops and also the new style shops as well. Some very expensive retailers. And yeah, and there's the go-karting next to the track. Definitely have a go at that if you get a chance. Not got much video footage of that, but it was definitely worth, well, because it is quite expensive, definitely worth the price. And yeah, I also indulged in a bit of golfing to keep up with my swing, and went to a all sand golf club. And again, getting to there was a bit tricky, but did it by Uber, and yeah, they were very helpful. Got some clubs, had some practice swings, and yeah, good experience overall. So yeah, as you can see, just a few footage from the karting before I had to go, and this is me in the elevator off to Saudi Arabia. So there you go. That's my next video, and stay tuned for that. And thank you very much for watching.